10 WWE superstars who would benefit from having a manager. Number 10. Shunsuke Nakamura. WWE has done a good job with Shunsuke Nakamura's heel turn, using his I don't speak English gimmick as a method to gain heat, without having to cut any promos. But eventually, that excuse is going to wear pretty thin and fans will get bored of it. When that does happen, WWE will have a problem because they can't let his in-ring work do the talking for him, as his in-ring work will make fans cheer him like it has since he debuted in the company. And there are only so many low blows you can get away with. Nakamura is never going to be able to cut a long promo on his own as a method of convincing fans to boo him. So giving him a manager will be a way to eliminate that problem, letting them do all the talking for him. Number 9. The Revival. It is a real shame what is currently happening to the Revival, going from top guys to total jobbers. The team that once dominated NXT, or were considered by many to be the best on the planet, are now barely featured, and when they are, it is simply to be beaten. The Revival stand out in a good way on the current WWE roster, working as an old school tag team who don't do the fancy moves but work like the teams of the 70s and 80s, cutting off the ring and isolating body parts. So why not give them an old school manager too? Bringing in somebody like Jim Cornette, who really knows how to make people look good, would be an excellent move for the team, who are in a desperate need of a boost before fading away. Number 8. The Miz. This one might seem a little strange. After all, The Miz probably is the best promo in the entire company right now, has no problem getting heat, and is a solid main event quality wrestler, so why does he need a manager by his side? Well, just because you're a good talker doesn't mean you can't benefit from having a manager. Just look at the relationship between CM Punk and Paul Heyman, and how much Heyman helped Punk. Despite him also being a great on the microphone, The Miz works best when he's a cowardly heel who relies on other people to help him get wins. But now he doesn't have Maurice or the Miztourage. He is unable to work that same angle. Should he get a manager, that could be something he uses in every single match. Perhaps bragging about the fact he has a manager to make him seem like a bigger star. Overall, it would benefit his character. Number 7. Elias. What do all great musicians have? A band manager. And there's no reason why Elias shouldn't be the same, because the amount of brilliant storyline work WWE could do with Elias having a manager is incredible. Once again, like The Miz, Elias is all fine by himself in terms of his ability on the microphone, but he would certainly benefit from having another person with them in terms of gaining cheap victories. Because in terms of wins and losses, Elias' record isn't brilliant. A manager could be his hype man during the match and just put him over at all opportunities. Number 6. No Way Jose. It appears that WWE is already well on the way with doing this, and may have already had it confirmed without officially announcing it, as he has begun to appear with Titus Worldwide frequently. But No Way Jose being put with that group would be the right thing to do. His gimmick is simply too silly to be taken seriously, and that was the reason he never really excelled in NXT, and is going to be stuck with the same issues on the main roster. But putting him in that group benefits all parties involved. Not only does it give No Way Jose a potential run as a tag team alongside Apollo, but it helps the group by having more members, which gives the whole Titus brand more credibility. Number 5. Roman Reigns. This is one of the most common arguments when it comes to Roman Reigns, with countless fans claiming that the big dog needs a mouthpiece, and it is pretty tough to argue to that point, as Reigns is now one of the strongest talkers in the company right now. Adding a manager to Reigns could be a great idea, but it is only something that should happen if WWE is ever going to commit and fully turn him heel. Because at this point, if WWE wanted to keep him face, it would only harm whoever they decide to have manage him. Reigns turning heel and embracing the heat could be done masterfully, and potentially using Paul Heyman as a tool to do that seems like a genius move by WWE. Because if anyone can put a spin on things, it is Heyman. We all know a heel turn is what Roman really needs, so why not go for it? Number 4. Baron Corbin. There's just something about a silent giant who goes in the ring and lets his work do the talking, while having a cocky and arrogant manager at their side, listing off accolades about how good they are, and that could easily be Baron Corbin. He isn't terrible on the microphone by any stretch, but at the same time, he isn't brilliant, and adding a manager to his game would be a good way to put him back up in management's rankings, as right now Corbin's slipping down the card at a rapid rate. Number 3. The Authors of Pain. This one is an example of where WWE has confused many fans, as it was very clear that the Authors of Pain needed a manager, hence why Paul was by their sides throughout their entire NXT run, helping them get over and playing a key role in the gimmick. Yet for some reason, the moment the team debuted on the main roster, WWE removed Paul from the position, leaving the Authors of Pain by themselves and without a manager, and since then, they have been used less frequently on television. Number 2. Cesaro. There's no doubt that working alongside Sheamus has certainly helped Cesaro's microphone skills, with the Swiss Superman looking much more confident when talking, and having Sheamus alongside him has helped that, but he's still not a great talker. While the bar are flying right now and likely won't be splitting up anytime soon, there's no doubt that both men will want to return to singles action at some stage, as there's plenty for them to do on their own. When that does happen, giving Cesaro a manager will likely be for the best. Having a mouthpiece who can tell a story while he lets his incredible in-ring work back it all up. WWE did try this with Paul Heyman, but the company didn't commit and simply used Cesaro as a way for Heyman to brag about Brock Lesnar's accomplishments, but giving him a dedicated manager could be a different story. Number 1. Ronda Rousey. There's no doubt that Ronda Rousey has huge star power. That much is undeniable, and she'll certainly sell tickets and help attract fans to watch any show that she is fighting on, regardless of the build-up. However, while she has a big marketable name and in the ring, we know that she can deliver. Unlike MMA, Rousey needs to sell the story, and that is where promos and microphone abilities come in. Because if she wants to be one of the very best, that is an essential part. The build to her WrestleMania debut was certainly hit and miss, with a lot of that being down to Rousey's poor microphone skills. Her timing wasn't quite right, and you could tell that Stephanie McMahon was having to work overtime to try and smooth things out. This could all be solved by putting a manager next to her, allowing them to talk while Ronda simply glares and attempts to break people's arms. It has worked a treat for Brock Lesnar, and there's no reason it wouldn't for her as well.